Welcome to the second part of the video on Lean Management and Lean Six Sigma. In our previous video, we explained the concept of lean management and the methods of identifying sources of waste within operations and supply chains. In this video, we will focus more on Lean Six Sigma and how this strategy is used to improve operations and supply chain and eliminate waste within its processes. Once again, welcome to this video. Before we begin our discussion on Lean Six Sigma, we must provide a summary of what we discussed in the previous video. In the previous video, we defined lean management as the process of facilitating incremental improvements in the operations and supply chain through the elimination of waste. We then identified the different types of wastage that lean management is designed to eliminate. We discussed overproduction, unnecessary waiting or delay, needless traveling within processes, and overprocessing amongst other sources of waste in operations and supply chains. After identifying these types of waste, we used the Japanese terms muda, mora, and mori to explain the sources of these wastages. Where muda refers to waste that comes from outright wastefulness of time and resources, mora refers to wastage as a result of unevenly distributing work between transforming resources. As for mori, this simply refers to the overloading or overworking of transforming resources such that they are susceptible to errors, hence waste. Where identifying possible types of waste and its sources within operations and supply chains is important, creating easy-to-follow steps for teams to get rid of waste is even more important. This is where Six Sigma strategy or framework becomes relevant. Six Sigma was introduced in the 1980s by Bill Smith, an engineer for Motorola who believed that getting rid of unnecessary variation through continuous improvement can improve operations and supply chain processes. Using Six Sigma, Bill helped Motorola save millions of dollars in revenue, propelling other companies to imitate this framework. Organizations such as General Electric, Toshiba, Bank of America, and Intel have all adopted Six Sigma principles and seen dramatic improvements. Over the years, this concept has also gained prominence in the operations and supply chain scholarly domain. So, what is the Lean Six Sigma and how is it different from lean management? Lean Six Sigma is a team-oriented management approach which aims to improve performance by reducing resource waste and defects. This concept combines the Six Sigma strategy with lean management methodology to eliminate the waste of physical resources, time, effort, and talent while assuring quality in production and organizational processes. Now that we have defined Lean Six Sigma as the combination of lean methodology and Six Sigma strategy, it is worth knowing that the objectives of lean management and Lean Six Sigma are similar. The focus of both concepts is the reduction and elimination of 8 kinds of waste known as downtime. Downtime is an acronym for types of known wastes within operations and supply chains and are quite similar to those discussed in the first part of this video. Now, let's break down this acronym. Downtime refers to wastes as a result of defects, overproduction, waiting, non-utilized talent, transportation, inventory, motion, and extra processing. Where lean management helps in identifying types of waste and their sources just like Lean Six Sigma, lean management does not provide the process of eliminating these types of waste. For this purpose, Lean Six Sigma uses the DMAIC phases to explain how sources of wastage in operations and the supply chain can be eliminated. DMAIC in Lean Six Sigma is an acronym for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. It is the data-driven 5-step approach to enhancing, optimizing, and stabilizing operations and supply chain processes. Now, let's go through each phase of the DMAIC to see what is involved. Define. First, it is important to define the problem or issues in the operations and supply chain from the perspective of the organization, stakeholders, and customers. This will allow the operations and supply chain manager identify and set quality expectations from the customer's perspective and what the organization should aim to achieve. Defining the extent of the problem with the operations and supply chain is also carried out at this stage. Measure. After the expectations and the issues in the operations and supply chain are clearly defined, it is now time to measure how the present operations and supply chain processes contributes to the problems identified. It is also important at this stage to determine if the current processes are able to achieve the set quality expectations in the define stage. To do this, it is important to match each process step to the defined quality criteria and then use measurements to support the data gathered on the operations and supply chain performance objectives. Analyze. At this point, examining all information gathered in the define and measure phases are used to finalize the exact nature of the problem, its scope, and its cause. Other forms of analyses such as the root cause analysis, the failure mode and effects analysis, and so on could also be useful at this stage, as well as drawing up an improvement plan. Improve. Once the analyses are completed, it is now time to solve the problems raised, look for ways to eliminate or mitigate sources of wastages in the operations and supply chain processes, and verify the improvements. Working as a team is also important at this stage through collaborating so as to structure a solution that eliminates both the problem and its cause. The data gathered from the operations and supply chain processes is useful at this stage to ensure that the solution fits the identified issues from the previous phases. It is also necessary to test the solution and derive performance data to show that the solution works. Control. Finally, there must be a continuous monitoring mechanism put in place for the applied improvements. The operations and supply chain manager must continue to look for avenues to improve the processes where possible and continue to set new performance and quality criteria. At this stage, plans must be put in place on how to deal with drifts from the performance and quality criteria, how to sustain improvements, and prevent a reoccurrence of the original problem in the operations and supply chain. This might require going through the DMIAC phases again to sustain achieved improvement and set new improvement criteria. As we have distinguished between Lean Management and Lean Six Sigma, it is worth noting that Six Sigma and Lean Six Sigma are not the same concepts, albeit similar. Lean Six Sigma aims to improve workflow and increase customer value by reducing or eliminating wasteful use of resources and defects, whereas Six Sigma focuses on reducing defects and process variability to enhance process output and quality. Put simply, Lean Six Sigma is a hybrid of the concepts of lean management methodology and Six Sigma strategy or framework. In sum, the lean philosophy in the Lean Six Sigma strategy can be encapsulated as concerning three overlapping elements: A. The elimination of waste in all its forms, B. The inclusion of the operations and supply chain team in the improvement processes, and C. The idea that all improvement should be continuous. Let's now summarize what we have learned in this video. First, we defined the concept of Lean Six Sigma as a process of operations and supply chain improvement which seeks to eliminate process flow inefficiencies by identifying the causes of waste or redundancy and developing solutions to address them. We mentioned that this concept combined lean management philosophy and methodology with Six Sigma strategy or framework. We also identified the 5 phases of Lean Six Sigma adopted from Bill Smith's Six Sigma called DMIAC. This acronym stands for Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, and Control. They're the steps operations and supply chain practitioners follow to create more efficient processes and to develop a culture that focuses on continuous improvement. So, that will be all on the topic of lean management and Lean Six Sigma. As usual, thank you for watching and we hope you have enjoyed the 2-part video on lean management. Please look forward to more of our videos on operations and supply chain management. Remember to click the like, share, subscribe and press the notification bell so you are notified when we release new videos. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one.